right. Thank you, fellow members, honored guests. I'm actually going to springboard a little bit off of Aaron's speech about progress. The topic here, Moore's Law. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. When I was a teenager, I was fascinated by the Italian Renaissance because it just seemed like this amazing and incredible time where everything changed. Art, science, philosophy, perspective, everyone's perception of humanity's role in the universe altered. It was a time when the impossible became possible. And at the time I lamented, I believe I persevered a bit, I lamented that I had missed this once-in-10 millennium opportunity, this time period, by only about 500 years. And I was quite sad about that for a little while, but eventually I kind of came to realize, to believe that I've been very fortunate, that I believe that all of us, right here and now, are living in what will someday be known as the technology renaissance. Because in the world of computers, everything is changing around us all the time. In the world of computers, the impossible routinely does become possible. There's a name for the observation that computers are changing rapidly. The name is Moore's Law. Okay? And in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you what Moore's Law is, why it's important, and what it's going to be like when it ends. So let's dive into it. Okay, so Moore's Law is not a law in the traditional form. There's no penalty for breaking it. It's more of an observation. But before we listen to other people's observations, let's make a few of our own, right? You don't have to be a computer scientist to recognize there's something a little unusual about computers, right? Whether it's cars, or blenders, or bricks, over time, things get more expensive, right? Inflation, right? And over time, they get maybe a little bit better. Maybe not. Computers, over time, get less expensive. Over time, they get they get a lot better. Yeah, my Mac SE from college couldn't have dreamed of doing the things that my iPhone can. And my iPhone, despite being 1/100th the size, has 3,000 times the storage. Computers are a little different. The first person to recognize that was a man named Gordon Moore, co-founder of Intel, one of the pathfinders and leaders of integrated circuit design. And in 1965, he didn't call it Moore's Law. In all fairness, he wasn't an egotist, is not an egotist, but he coined the statement that, or he realized and wrote down that on the average, every 12 months, in 1975, amended to every 2 years, average size of a transistor shrank by 50%. What's that mean? Well, because the surface area is proportional to cost in integrated circuits, because transistor count is linear with computer performance. That means that on the average, every 2 years per dollar, computing performance doubles. Pretty neat. And it's been doing it for 50 years. Well, so what, right? So what? Progress, right? Ever since the Industrial Revolution, there's been a lot of that going around. Why is Moore's Law special? Let's compare it to flight, the speed of flight, to get a sense for the quantitative difference between computer progress and other forms of progress. For its 55 years of manned flight, commercial airlines, it started with Kitty Hawk in 1903, to the Boeing 707 jetliner in 1958. Performance improved from flight speed by about a factor of 100. It's pretty good, huh? But then it stopped. And in the last 50 years, it hasn't gotten any faster. Why? Because we hit a natural limit, right? Speed of sound. And this is typical. This is innate for all science and engineering. No exponential can increase on the bound, right? But now what about computers? Right? In the last 43 years, computer CPUs have gone from about 2,300 transistors in one CPU to 4.3 billion. That's an increase of about 2 million. 20,000 times faster, more than the increase in flight speed. And that kind of qualitative difference, that kind of quantitative difference brings about qualitative difference. It's kind of intuitive when you think about it, because starting with World War II at least, airplanes kind of looked like airplanes. Right? They got bigger, more aerodynamic. They look like airplanes. computers have been dramatically changed ever since they came out. In the 1970s, right, a computer was like a fridge. You started it with switches and reel-to-reel tape. You put in punch cards, 8-inch floppy disks. Fast forward to now. Computers fit in your pocket. Right? There are no floppy disks. The World Wide Web killed them. I mean, Apple. Facebook connects 1 billion people, more than 1 billion people. Right? There are no more punch cards. In fact, in movies like Avatar, the distinction between actors and pixels has been blurred. And in today's world, the world champion at Jeopardy, which is a natural language game about human trivia, is a computer. So Moore's Law has changed a lot. What's going to happen when it ends? Because all good things do end, and no exponential can go forever. It's simple math, right? Transistors are now about 100 times bigger than atoms, okay? That's only 7 doublings. I guarantee you, it's a very hard world to imagine where transistors ever get smaller than atoms. So when Moore's Law ends, and it will, what's the universe going to look like? Well, in a lot of ways, it'll work better. It'll work simpler, right? It'll be like the cathode ray tube televisions we used to have. The only thing that'll change will be the cosmetics. The interface will stay the same. You won't have to learn a new version of Windows every few years. It won't break down nearly as much. It'll be a lot more predictable. Security will be better. But it won't be what we have today. It won't be the renaissance of technology. It won't be the impossible seemingly becoming possible. The miracles will fade a little bit. So we've talked now about what's Moore's Law, why it matters, and what's it going to be like when it ends. We're now in the twilight of Moore's Law. And my recommendation to everybody is that if you haven't done so already, find a way to wake your hobby to computers. Pay attention, embrace the technology around you, and focus on how computers change what matters to you. How they change you. Because someday, I predict that our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren will ask us, what was it like to live during the renaissance of technology? What was it like to be alive when no one on Earth could guess what the future would hold in 5 years? Make sure you have a story to tell. Thank you.